I want to get to the way the Israel issue, the way the Hamas issue is playing out in our federal parliament. I showed you earlier what some Labor MPs have had to say. Here's what Peter Dutton said in response.
There's a lot of anti-Israel sentiment within the Labor caucus, and that's an open secret. There are lots of people who are so quick to condemn Israel for their actions that that's just their instinct. The reality is that Hamas is a listed terrorist organisation.
Yeah, Louise, this has always been an issue for Labor, right? You sort of had the Labor right strongly behind Israel. They're always trying to keep their left on board, who always want to support the Palestinian cause. Right. Fair enough, the Palestinian cause itself is not problematic. But when you've got a Hamas atrocity here and you've got Labor MPs turning the spotlight on Israel, it shows they've got a deep problem there.
It does, and you'd think that they want to be unified on something, given the debacle of last weekend with the referendum. And they'd already come out and said they would support the Israeli position. So to now be splintering and saying, oh, but what about this and what about that? It's not a good look for them. And it doesn't actually help the cause, whatever the cause is they're trying to support.
It's difficult, Joe. We're talking about a couple of Muslim MPs here primarily, Anne Ali and Ed Husic. I know Ed reasonably well, a fantastic bloke. But a very difficult time for Muslims because you feel for the Muslim family. But these were Islamist extremist terrorists who conducted this atrocity. Why are we so quick to blame the victim here?
Yeah, I think this is the problem. I mean, the problem is timing, and the problem is also that you have MPs who are bound by their constituents. So there's been conspicuous silence from some MPs that have large Muslim populations in their Australian Muslim populations in their electorates. And Ed Husic, like you, I really like him, and I was sort of surprised to see him come out so forthrightly like this. But again, as the first MP to swear on a Quran instead of a Bible or take an affirmation, I suppose he feels he has a particular duty to represent the Muslim community. But just there is a problem, as you say, with this false equivalence between Hamas and the state of Israel. Firstly, one is a country, whether people like it or not, that was formed in 1948 by the UN and was immediately invaded by everyone around it and a few people within it since. And then that's what basically has created this difficulty that we're still trying to grapple with, that Israel, the people who didn't want Israel to be there in the first place and immediately started trying to destroy it, in fact lost, and Israel took the land that they had previously had. So that's why we are here where we are. There is a difference, and a lot of people don't seem to be able to get their heads around this, but in war, as in peace, intent matters.
Absolutely.
It is not just how many dead are on each side, it is what you are trying to achieve and what methods you are using to achieve those aims. There is a difference between deliberately targeting women and children who you know to be innocent civilians and torturing them, killing them in the most gruesome ways, kidnapping them to use them as bargaining chips. There is a difference between that and the inadvertent, although very tragic, loss of innocent life when you are deliberately trying to target military installations that have fired upon you.
And especially when the facts are so distorted, right? For 48 hours almost, the world was labouring under misapprehension that 500 innocent people had been killed in a hospital. There may have only been, we don't know how many people were killed, certainly not hundreds. Certainly not in the hospital, and certainly not as a result of what Israel did.
It's incredible,
Yeah, it's shocking.